Today is Memorial Day, and as such, it's a day for us to reflect on all of those lives that were lost in the battles of war. It's a day for us to ponder at our mortality and to consider the bravery of those individuals that decided to give everything that they had for the cause of their country. Yet it is not a day that is strongly celebrated in America. It's not a day that everyone knows the date for, like Easter or the 4th of July or Christmas or even Halloween. It's not a holiday that we are all super familiar with, because to most of us, its relevance is limited. Sure, we can all appreciate the absolute importance of all those people that lost their lives in such a way, and we can sympathize with all of their families on this day where they have to suffer the feeling of loss when they consider all of the things that those family members could have been but never will be. But for the majority of us who lack a personal tie to someone that has been lost in such a way, Memorial Day becomes just another holiday. Just a day where we don't happen to have to work and can instead watch YouTube videos and work on our hobbies. Because for most of us, that's what it's become. So, in thinking about that, and in thinking about this holiday that is so often not really celebrated, at least not by me personally, I started to think about how I could, at least, get some semblance of sympathy and of understanding of the pain that those families are going through, and a way that I could somehow make this holiday meaningful for myself. And in doing so, I turn to those battles that people face every day. Those battles that are not fought against any external forces, quite the opposite, they are fought against themselves quite often. Those battles of mental disabilities, disorders, and traumas. Those battles against things like depression or ADHD or any other number of things that make it even harder than normal to live their lives. And so thinking about these battles, I knew that they would never have the same torture that you must feel when you get shot down in a field of armed men, that same pain that you feel. But I knew that they had a lot of it, and that in that way they were just as important, and maybe more important to me, because they were closer to me. Because you see, these are battles that are invisible, but at the same time, they are battles that we can all fight in. Unlike those battles that are overseas, every single individual, doesn't matter if you're able-bodied or not, doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter who you are. If you want to help someone, you can. And it doesn't take nearly as much of a sacrifice as those battles overseas. It just takes a sacrifice of time, it takes a lent ear, it takes just a bit of caring to be someone that's there for them. Yet if it was that simple, I wouldn't call it a battle. If it were that simple, it would merely be an encounter or just something that, a skirmish perhaps, that you could just get through with ease. No. These are battles, and a lot of times they're wars, because people who are in these situations, people in the depths of depression, or even just in a world that seems to be against them, cannot be saved with a single word, and to propose that they could would be absurd. To just think that you can change someone's world by going up, giving them a smile, a handshake, and saying, "Man, I value you in society," is not true. It can help, but it's definitely not going to fix everything. And so I think about the tools that I can use and that we can use to help fight these battles. those tools of compassion. The tools that where others might use tanks, we use texts that simply say, how are you doing? What's your character build for D&D? Do you like this meme? And that can so easily lead into so much more. Instead of weapons, we have words, and even if the words are simple or contractions or not that well thought out, it truly is incredible how effective they can be when spoken with the right mindset and the right heart behind them. And if you use these weapons, if you use these things to go forward and to help others with their battles, keeping in mind that it's ultimately their battle. They're ultimately the general, and you're just a soldier, ready to help, eager to help, determined to make your side win. And that's all that you are. And that's all you need to be. Because in these invisible battles, it takes not a lot, but it takes a lot of determination. Little things over long periods, little words, little reminders, little things that help people to know that you really do care about them. And in those battles, those can make all of the difference. And so when thinking about Memorial Day, instead of thinking about all of those people that die on the battlefield who I can imagine what they're like, I can guess, I can pretend. I think about those people that I know, those ones whose scars I've seen, those ones whose hearts I know, those ones whose suffering is firsthand. And I get a much realer sense of what the holiday is about. And those soldiers will never lose their place in my heart as the true meaning of Memorial Day. But those people that I know will always be my frame of reference and the thing that brings meaning to the sacrifices of those overseas. So for your Memorial Day, I propose this idea to you. Perhaps you cannot win a battle overseas. Perhaps that's not your kind of thing. But look around for those invisible battles around you, because you'll be surprised at how much power you have to help others in them. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that you all soar high and enjoy your ride of life. Bye!